Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to another video with Book Blabs. I am Natalie and I love to blab about books, so welcome back. Today we are doing the very anticipated 25 books to read in 2025. I've seen so many other booktubers, bookstagrammers, book talkers do this video, and I really wanted to participate in it because my TBR is out of control. If you're subscribed to me, you know I have another series called Read It or I Don't Need It, which is tackling my 500 plus TBR.
First of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
So slowly but surely, I'm going through that TBR and tackling it, taking it down, everything. But these are specifically books that I am striving to read this year, either because I've put them off for too long, or I'm intimidated by them, or I just really need to read them because I feel left out. So we're going to go through. It is currently 9:45 at night on Monday, January 20th, which is Martin Luther King Jr. Day or Inauguration Day. That's why I'm in my PJs because it is almost my bedtime. So I'm getting cozy. I'm trying to wind down, and I figured it would be nice to chat with you guys. So grab a bevy. I had water somewhere, but it's okay. I'm going to be yapping, so I'm not going to have time to drink. But grab some water, some tea, Diet Coke, Dr. Pepper, whatever you are drinking, grab it, pull up a chair, and let's chat. All right. My bookish besties and babes, this is editing Natalie coming in. So I edited the entire video last night, and I ended up actually uploading it. Yay! But my boyfriend pointed out that after I uploaded it, there were some inconsistencies between my mouth and the sound. So I don't know what happened because when I was done editing, I watched the whole video through to make sure the editing was flawless. But I guess when I exported it to my computer, the sound bites didn't get deleted even though the video bites did, because it was so weird. So there are some clips that are just kind of like choppy, and that's because I did my best to salvage the edited video that I had without spending another 4 hours completely editing the video all over again. So please bear with me for this video. I love you. Okay, bye. So, the first book I would like to read in 2025 is Normal People by Sally Rooney. This is a literary fiction book, and I want to read this not only because it's been on my TBR for forever, but because there's a show out about it. So it has to be really good because they made a show, and I want to watch the show, but I don't want to watch the show until I read the book. But also, I've been really intimidated to read this book because I heard that the dialogue doesn't have quotation marks. And I was an English major, so I don't know if that's going to be like upsetting to me or if I'm just going to get over it. But that intimidates me because it's something different. But yeah. So, Normal People by Sally Rooney. The next book I would like to read in 2025 is, hopefully I said 2025 earlier. Now I'm just stressing myself out. Did I say 2024 earlier? I don't know. Anyways, the next book I would like to read in 2025 is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Now, this is a classic, so I'm a little intimidated to read it just because classics are a bit harder for me to read sometimes. But also, I feel like everyone's read this book, so I'm feeling FOMO. Like, everyone always says, oh, it's a total Jane Eyre moment, or like, oh, like Jane Eyre. Like, they just reference it, and I'm not in the loop. I didn't read it in high school. We think we read something else instead of Jane Eyre. So I would like to jump onto this Jane Eyre train and see what the hype is. So then book number 3 for books I would like to read in 2025 is another classic. It's Dracula by Bram Stoker. I would love to read this one just because I love vampire stories and I love vampires. And this is like the classic original vampire story. So I would love to, get into those gothic vibes and just really appreciate the original vampire story. Plus, it's been on my TBR for forever because I'm an English major, or I was an English major, and so many people referenced it, and I never got around to reading it. So this year, I will make a goal to read it. Book four of my 25 books is yet another classic book. I'm sorry, but this one I feel like is about to be banned, or if it's not already banned. So I feel like that would make it like an even better book to read. But it's Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Now, everyone and their mother always references this book, and I feel like it is like quintessential for like societal references. People always say like, "Oh, that's a total Fahrenheit 451 moment," or they say like society is like Fahrenheit 451 right now with the banning of books, and this one's about the burning of books. So I feel like I really, really need to read that. Plus, I really love Ray Bradbury's writing. I feel like he's very descriptive and imaginative. So I feel like that'll like really suck me in. So that should be fun and easy to read. The next book I would like to read, book five, is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. So this book has been on my TBR for a really long time, and I would love to read it just because it's like everyone always talks about it and how like whimsical and beautiful it is. But also everyone freaking talks about Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is a trilogy that's a spin-off of this trilogy. So I'm like, well, I better read this trilogy before I read the spin-off. Otherwise it's not going to make sense, and I just hate going backwards. So I was like, I need to pick a lane here. So I'm like, I'm going to start with Carval and then we'll go from there. But I need to read it this year so I can start that train ride. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping to read the trilogy, but if not, I want to at least read the first book. The next book I would like to read, book six, is The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. And this book was recommended to me by several of my coworkers and friends. They think that I would really like the book. They think I would really like the movie. They think I'd really like the show. And now I am a girly who will not watch the movie or watch the show until she's read the book. So in order for me to chat with these people who recommended me these things, I need to read the book. So I'm like, let me get started on that process by reading the book. Now, book number seven is probably the book I'm the most scared for out of this entire list. And book seven is A Little Life by Yana Hagara. Yana Gihara. I'm sorry if I'm bad with my chair's creaking. I'm bad with syllables. Yana Gihara. Yana Gihara? I think. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just cancel me right now. Please don't actually. But anyways, this is the really, really thick book about I think it's like the four college students and like kind of like unpacking their trauma. And it's like really sad. And I don't really like sad. So this book is going to hurt. But I have to read it because I own it. And I feel like I really just need to feel pain sometimes, like a good hurt. So hopefully it'll be like a good cry for me and not too horrific. Another book that I have is book eight. So next book is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I don't know if it's Bachman or Bachman, but this book is another lit fic, and this one is apparently like really, really beautiful book about like different people in different walks of life and how they can connect with each other in a time of trauma. Because I think what this one's about is there's an apartment showing and all these different kinds of people show up, and then pretty much there's like a hostage situation, like they're being held hostage, so they're all scared. It's all traumatizing for them, and the way that they form like connections and bonds and just like I don't know, trauma bond, I guess, over this situation is just told beautifully. And I think it's told from multiple perspectives, if I remember people's reviews of it correctly. Um, Plus, everyone always speaks so highly of Frederick Bachman or Bachman. I'm gonna go with Bachman, Frederick Bachman, and I really want to join the hype train and just really understand why his writing is so hyped. So yeah, I feel like I'm kind of excited to read that one. Plus, it's been on my TBR for way too long. So the next one is kind of cheating, but number 9, even though it's taking one slot, it's several books, but I would like to read or start the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. I think right now it's 5 books, and then there's like a spin-off series or 2 spin-off. But I would love to get started into the Chestnut Springs series because everyone's like, if you want cowboy romance, you have to read Chestnut Springs. Apparently her writing is fun, it's easy to read, it's hot, like spicy, it's like everything you could ever want in a cowboy romance. And so I was like, sign me up. I also have FOMO, so I really want to join the hype train and understand what the big hoot about Elsie Silver's writing is. Um, Number 10 is also cheating, but I made the rules, so I don't really care. I would love to start or read the Dreamland Billionaires series by Lauren Asher. So this one also gets talked about all the time, and I just truly want to understand what the hype is. You know, I want to be able to talk about it with girlies. I want to swoon with the girlies. Um, yeah, I just want to know what the big hype is. So it's about like the 3 different brothers, and I want to know why these book boyfriends are so swoon worthy, you know? Plus, I have several friends who've read these and they're like, Natalie, read these books now. Like, stop what you're doing, put everything down, quit your job, whatever you need to do, and go read these books. And I was like, okay, calm down. I love you, and I will get to them. So 2025, guys, if you've recommended this book to me, you know who you are. You can hold me to it. I will read this trilogy or start this trilogy in 2025. You heard it. You have evidence right here, right now. Um, Book number 11 that I would like to read in 2025 is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. And this one's a little out of my comfort zone because I'm not a huge science fiction reader, but I heard this book is absolutely amazing. Plus, there's a movie, and I have not seen the movie, and I really want to watch the movie, but I will not do so until I read the book. So, ergo, I need to read the book. Um, yeah, that's pretty much why it's on the list. I need to hurry up and get to it. So, this is me trying to push myself to get to it faster. Book number 12 is a nonfiction, which is my least comfortable genre. Like I'll read it, but it's just really hard for me. But it's the Anthropocene Reviewed. Anthropocene. You'll see the book, The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. It's his only nonfiction at the moment, and it came out, I want to say, during like COVID, like 2020, 2021, and that's when I bought it, and it's been sitting and rotting on my shelf since then. Number 13 is another classic, but it's To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and this book is like, I want to say, one of the most number one banned books in all of the United States. And I want to know why. I'm one of those people you're like, hey, don't do that. I'm going to do it just to spite you because you can't take away what I can read, you know? I am a 23-year-old human being. I will read what I want. And this book, I want to know what the hoot is. I want to know why it's so controversial. I want to know why um, people want to ban it so bad because you know what? I think that banned books are sometimes the most thought provoking books. And their mother's talking about it, and I have FOMO once again, which is Light Lark by Alex Astor. And this book, I've heard so many mixed opinions about it. And so I think I just really want to read it so I can form my own opinion because it's really split. I've had on like I'm when I'm scrolling through Bookstagram or Book Talk or watching my booktubers, half of them say like this book is so overrated, do not read it. And the other half say like this is cocaine. Like just you cannot put it down. It's addicting. It's fun. It's amazing. The tension, the romance, everything. They think it's purely amazing. And I think either book 3 just came out or it already came out. I'm not sure. But several of the books are out at this point, and so I'm like, come on, girl, you've had all this time to read it. You need to get on it. So this is me pushing myself to get on it and finally figure out what I want to think about this book. 15 is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This is a romance book, and my friend Lorelai says I have to read this book. She says it's so amazing. She gifted me Red, White, and Royal Blue by the same author, and I absolutely loved that book. I thought it was so cute, so sweet, a little spicy. I was giggling and kicking my feet. And now she's saying, girl, if you liked that one, you have to read One Last Stop. Like, it's even cuter. You will giggle, you will kick your feet even more. So I'm like, all right, I'll get to it. But this book has probably been on my TBR the longest. Like, when I started collecting books back in like freshman, sophomore year of high school, it's like 2016, 2017. Like, that's a long time. I still haven't read it,
Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind?
even though I've had it. But it's This Is Where It Ends by Mariki Nijkamp. I don't know how to say her name. I'm so sorry. But this is the very back when it came out, it was very mind-blowing, like very controversial book because it was about a school shooting. And apparently it was very thought-provoking, very horrific, but a very like eye-opening read. So I would just really like to like read it because it's been on my TBR for so long, but B, like I feel like it would be an eye-opening, thought-provoking read for me. And we could all do with those sometimes. So that book will not best me. I will read it. Okay. It's been sitting on my shelf for a long time. Maybe I'll pay it some attention. Or no, not maybe. I will pay it some attention this year. It's time for me to go to bed. My brain's already like, good night. Book number 17 is one that also really intimidates me just because it seems so sophisticated, but it is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I always say I want to read this around the fall because it's giving total dark academia vibes, mystery vibes. It's about like a secret society, the Bricks and Ivy's whole vibe. But then the fall rolls around and I find myself wanting to read like thrillers and witchy and gothic, and I just never get to it. I think that's just excuses. Those are just excuses for me to put it off because I'm terrified of reading this book. But this year, even if I have to buddy read it or force my book club to read it with me, I will read this book. Secret History, Donna Tartt, you will not best me. You will not. I will not let you. I'm sorry. Am I doing too much? Do I need to calm down? Hopefully I'm not like screaming at you guys because I'm still getting used to having a cute little mic. And yes, it's pink because I'm me. But hopefully I'm not screaming. Next, we have, I cheated again, oops, but slot number 18 of 25 is Heroes of Olympus, this series by Rick Riordan. Riordan? I don't know. Sorry, Rick. But last year, I successfully read Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which is the 5-book series about Percy Jackson. And because I never read them as a kid, and so I was like, you know what, I want to read them even though I'm an adult now. So I read them, and now I would like to continue my journey through this world and these. I think this is just a spin-off interconnected series, but it's another 5 books. I already own them because I got them for really cheap at like a library book sale. So I would love to read them this year. Plus, my boyfriend would like to buddy read them with me, and one of my good friends, Lorelai, she said she would also buddy read them with us. So we could do like a cute little thruple read, triple buddy read. I don't know. All 3 of us will read them, and it'll be a good time. Slot number 19 is another book that my friend Lorelai has been begging me, like on her knees, crying, begging me to read for at least well over a year now. Is When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. She thinks that I would absolutely love this book because it's about feminism, it's about dragons, it's like a fantasy kind of like lit fic, women's fic read. And basically, all I know is it's a story about how one day women just turned into dragons. That's all I know. That's all I want to know. I want to go into it pretty blind. But Lorelai, you can hold me accountable because I'm saying it now. I am reading this book in 2025. All right. You can even screen record this and send it to me if it's December of 2025 and you're like, girl, you have not read it yet. So get on it because you promised. Book number 20 is Coraline by Neil Gaiman. And growing up, and still now, I absolutely love the movie Coraline. So I'd really just like to read the book that started it all, the book that inspired it. I know it's technically like a children's fantasy or a children's thriller horror book, but I don't care. I would love to just read it, It's going to be a quick read because I think it's really short. Slot number 21 is another book that I'm scared of, and it is Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I'm scared of this one because I've heard it is the most heartbreaking book you will ever read. Like, people sob at the end, and it's a love story. So, a love story that doesn't have a happy ending kind of makes me want to cry, and it makes me not want to read it. But everyone's like, girl, the writing is so beautiful, so poetic. You have to read it. Like, it'll change your life. And so I'm like, fine. You sold me. I just need to be brave and just start this book. Sorry, that was my chair. Have you heard that? I don't know why it's so creaky. I'm like mentally 5. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, whew. I'm delulu. I'm delirious. Book number 22 is Wicked by Gregory Maguire. And as soon as I watched the movie Wicked with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, I went out and bought the book because I was like, I'm reading this book before Wicked for Good comes out in November of 2025. So I'm holding myself to this. I will read Wicked before November of 2025 because I'm going to read the book and then I'm going to go see the second movie. I'm telling myself this right now. Book number 23 is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I believe this is like a lit fic thriller, and people say go into this one cautiously because it's about kind of the traumatic repercussions of a girl who she had a relationship with her. I don't know if it was her professor or her teacher, but it was a very inappropriate relationship, and like how she kind of like peels that back and realizes like how she was taken advantage of and how she's changed and been different and how that kind of traumatized her. And so it's just kind of like the diving into those dynamics and that kind of relationship and how it affects a girl. 4 is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. And I think the second book is Two Twisted Crowns. But everyone and their mother talks about how amazing this book duology is. And I want to be on the hype. That's simply it. I have FOMO and I want to know what the hype is. I love fantasy. I love romance. And everyone's like, it's a great romantasy. You need to read it. And I was like, okay, I will listen to you. Heard, I'm sat, I will read it. Last but not least, we have book number 25, which is Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach. This is a book I don't know a whole lot about, but I know it's like a horror / thriller book, and it's about, I think it's like a young boy, and it's like, I don't know if it's a predator situation or a stalker situation, but I heard that it's a very tense, creepy, like you need to sleep with the lights on kind of book. And I've never really had a book that scared me that badly. Thank you, every single one of you who stuck around and listened to my 25 books I'd like to read in 2025. Leave a comment down below if you've read any of these or if these are also on your TBR for 2025. Let me know which ones you think I should prioritize. And yeah, please give this video a like if you liked hanging out with me, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I'd love to be friends. We can chat about books all you want. Yeah. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great evening. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week. I love you all.